So right now our fabric has been folded into 4. Okay, that means we are cutting both the front and the back together. Okay, so here we have 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, front panel and back panel together. So that's that. So what next I will do now is to, and here is our folded edge, our starting line. Okay, so what next I will do is to mark our shoulder line. It's a cut together sleeve. Okay, so I went ahead and marked 7 inches. That means our shoulder is 14 divided by 2, we have 7. And for the shoulder sleeve, or the length of our sleeve, is 7. Okay, it's a cut together sleeve. So at that end I came down 1.5 inches for our shoulder drop, while at the shoulder I marked 1 inch. Okay, so I'm going to connect it all the way to the shoulder and also to the neck width. So moving down for the neck width, we have 3.5 inches for the neck width. Then the neck depth for the back bodice is 1 inch. I went ahead and marked 1 inch, and also for the front depth we're marking 7 inches. Okay, 7 inches for the front depth. This is a V shape. Okay, we are trying to create a V shape here. So I'm going to connect it out all the way. Remember, we marked 3.5 inches. I connected it like so. So that's that for our front depth. So what next I will do, I came in 1 inch. Okay, I came in 1 inch. So I will connect it in a slanted form back to the neck width, like so, just the way you see me doing it. So here we have our back neck depth curved. So I'll connect it all the way to meet the neck width from the shoulder drop to the neck width, like so. So here it is. So moving down, we are going to mark the sleeve opening. Okay, for the sleeve opening I came down 11 inches. It's always good to be free, but it depends on your preference. Okay, you could make yours 10 inches, 9 inches, depending on how wide you want the sleeve to be. So for mine I came down 11 inches at that point. So here we have chest line. Still starting from the starting line, I came down 16 inches for the waist and 25 inches in length for the hip measurement. Okay, so we'll be working on, since it's a free maxi kaftan wear, we'll be taking note of the hip. Okay, we'll not make use of the waist or the chest measurement, rather the hip measurement. And what we'll mark there, I'll mark in my hip circumference, which is 44 divided by 4, we have 11. Okay, so I'll mark 1 inch for ease and extra 1 inch for seam allowance. So that means we'll be closing in all round. Okay, after cutting with 1 inch, that is the seam allowance. So I'll connect it all the way from that hip to the chest line, and also from the hip also downwards to the hem of the gown, just the way you see me doing it. So moving on to the at the sleeve area, at this point I'm going to add extra band. Okay, there will be a band to make it up to the sleeve. So what next I will do is to cut it out, the neckline, the shoulder slope, the sleeve opening, and the rest of the body. So right now I'm done cutting. So we have the front and the back panel which has been cut together. So what next I will do now, I'm going to remove the back. Okay, here we have the back removed. So I'm going to work on the front panel by cutting off the neckline. So that's that. So right now I went ahead and adjusted the sides to make sure it is equal. So I'm going to cut off the neckline, the V shape. Okay, so here we have our front panel and here is the shape that I've given it. Remember, we came in 1 inch to create that V shape. So what I will do now is to attach a doll face to give it that, beautify the frontage. Okay, like so. So starting from the center point of that V shape. So for the actual length of the doll face satin, I'm going to place there at that front. I'm going to mark 15 inches. Okay, that will be the length of the satin I'm going to place there, and it's a black satin. So here I have the satin, so I'm going to fold it into 2. Okay, and taking note of the center point of the V shape, it must have to be equal to both sides. So I went ahead and determined the midpoint. So from that midpoint, that will be the center line for the width. So I'll go ahead and determine the width of this satin fabric. So I went ahead and marked 7 inches on both sides, so that the wideness is 14 inches, like so. While the midpoint, from the midpoint, the length is 15 inches. So I've gone ahead and folded the fabric into 2. So I went ahead and marked 7 inches on fold, 7 inches, while open is 14, so 7 inches. Okay, and I added ½ inch for folding, that is 7.5. I marked there, while the length is 15 inches. Okay, so I marked 15 inches for the length, while the width is 7.5 inches. ½ inch is for folding the fabric. Okay, so I'm going to take it all the way down in a straight line. So that's it. I've connected it all the way down. So what next I will do, on the open side we have the closed side. Okay, so on the open side I came down after taking the midpoint. Okay, so I remember it's 15 inches, so the midpoint is 7.5 inches. Okay, so I went ahead and chalked it like so. So starting from the center point, I came down 1 inch. So I came down 1 inch at that point. I marked 1 inch like so. So from that 1 inch, I connected it all the way to the folded edge like so. From that 1 inch I came down, I took it all the way to the folded edge like so. So I'll go ahead and mark ½ inch. This will serve as the folding allowance, okay, or joining allowance, anyhow you wish to call it. So right now what I will do next is to cut this out. Here we go. I've succeeded in cutting out our satin like so. and I've also added ½ inch at that base. So I went ahead and opened it up. This is what we have. So this I will place on the front panel like so, okay, taking note of the center point. At this point, you can go ahead and place it on the front panel, or you can as well, after joining the shoulder, both the front and the back panel. So I'm going to do it this way after joining the shoulder of the front and the back panel. So here I have with me the front panel placed on the table. So I'll go ahead and place the right side of the back panel on the front panel. So what I'm trying to say, I'll join it on the shoulder using ½ inch, right sides facing each other. So right now I've closed the shoulders. Here we have it like so. So what next I will do is to, from the midpoint of the neckline, I'm going to take one side, okay, one side. So what I went ahead and joined the, or matched the shoulder point together like so, just the way you see me doing it. So I went ahead and notched the center point of the back neckline. So from this back neckline, I'm going to measure it till the front, to the end part of the front panel, okay. So I measured it till that point. So what I got was 12 inches, okay. So I went, what I will do now is to multiply it into 2. So right now I've gone ahead and cut a band like so, okay. So the full length is 26 inches. I added extra 2 inches. Now I got 12 inches. 12 inches into 2, we have 24. I added 2 extra inches to it. While the width is 2.5 on folds, okay. So 2.5 on folds. So what if I open it up? What I have is 5 inches, but on fold is 2.5. So what I will do now is to notch this midpoint, okay. I folded it into 2 like so. I notched the center point on both sides. So I'm going to fold it up, okay, place it on fold before joining, taking note of the midpoint. So I went ahead and placed it on fold, taking note of the midpoint. So starting from the right side of the fabric, so I'm going to match it, notch the midpoint of the fabric and the midpoint of the band. So what I did next was to fasten it down with a pin. So I'm going to close it down on both sides, just the way you see me doing it. So I'll keep joining it, okay, keep matching it, the fabric and the band. Then I'll go ahead and place a pin on it to hold it down. So right now I'm done with joining, okay, using the pin. So at this point, that sharp point, okay, so I'm going to give it a notch in a diagonal way, just vertical, just the way you see me place my hand, in 45 degrees, okay. Yes, so I'm going to notch ½ inch, okay, ½ inch, just that shape in a diagonal way, ½ inch, give it a notch, ½ inch at those 2 points, ½ inch as well. So I'm going to notch it at that point. See the way I place my hand in that shape, okay, in a diagonal way, just the way you see me doing it. So I went ahead and notched like so, ½ inch inwards on both sides. This is to allow the flipping, just the way you see me doing it. It can rest well on the chest area. So while stitching the band, I'm going to stitch it all through till I reach that notched point. So I'm going to go ahead right now and stitch all round, okay, at that point. So on reaching that place that I notched, I will stitch there and also do the same on the other side, okay. So I'm going, after which I'll flip it inwards to the wrong side. So after doing that, I'm going to take the length of the sleeve, okay, after which I got 22 inches on both sides. I've also gone ahead and cut out a band. Remember I said I'm going to add additional band to it, and it's on fold, okay. So what I have there is 23 inches for the band. It's always good to have excess than to run shortage of the fabric during stitching. So I measured 23 inches, then the width is 3 inches on fold. So this simply means if you open it up, it's 6 inches, but on fold is 3 inches. So I'm going to place it this way. This is the right side, okay. So I'll open it up. Here we have the wrong side. The wrong side, I went ahead and shook the wrong side like so. So what I will do now is to close it up. It's on fold right now. So I'll flip it the wrong side of the fabric. Here we have the wrong side. This is the right side, and here we have the wrong side, okay. So I'm going to turn it this way. Watch what I'm about to do. I've opened up the band, just one side of the band. I'll close it to the sleeve, okay, using 1/2 inch. Then I will turn it. I'll flip it to the right side afterwards, okay. So I'll flip it to the right side of the fabric and fold it in using 1/2 inch and stitch all through to the end part of the sleeve, okay. So that's that. I'll also do the same on the other side, okay. The same is applicable to the other side of the sleeve. So placing it on the wrong side of the fabric, okay. I also stitch on it using 1/2 inch, just the same way I demonstrated the initial one. So I'm going to do this and show us. So right now our sleeve has been stitched like so. See how neat it is, okay. On both sides I've succeeded in adding extra band to the sleeve, and also I've gone ahead and stitched the band to the neckline area, okay. I've stitched it all through. So what I will do next is to flip it like so, give it a hot press, iron it out, then flip it just the way you see me doing it. I'll flip it to the wrong side of the fabric. So that's it. So I'll flip it to the wrong side of the fabric, taking note of the notched sides, okay. It's going to rest like this on the front edge, but I'm going to turn it to the wrong side. I'll work on it from the wrong side of the fabric. Please watch carefully as I demonstrate this. So here is the band. I'll flip it like so. I'll close it up. You can as well use your pin. What I did was to cut off the excess band, okay, to trim it off to make it smoother. So after that, remember where we notched earlier, Okay, so I'm going to fold it this way. This is the notched part, and we have the excess of the main fabric. So I'm going to hold it down with a pin. I held it down with a pin like so to determine the center point. Okay, I held it down with a pin so that it can be firm, okay, during stitching. So what next I will do now, after fastening it with a pin, to close it only at that point, okay, only at that point, the fabric against the band. This is how it's going to rest after closing it. So I've gone ahead and closed it from the wrong side. So here it is. Here, see how smooth the facing is, how smooth the frontage is, and here it is, well stitched. Okay, so what I will do next is to close the sides. Okay, so from the shoulder line, I want to insert a pocket. From the shoulder line, I went ahead and marked 19 inches for the pocket. So from that line, I came in for the pocket space or opening 7 inches. Okay, so I went ahead and marked 7 inches and notched the two lines. So from one notched area to the other, this is where exactly I'm going to insert the pocket. So while closing the side of the gown using 1 inch, remember we mapped 1 inch for allowance, so I'm going to measure out 1 inch all through, 1 inch all through. So coming down to the pocket opening, okay, I'm going to stop there, and whilst during stitching I'm double stitch at this point, double stitch, okay, to make it firm, and also leave the pocket opening. Okay, move to the other side and keep marking 1 inch all through to the lower part. So I'll also do the same on the other side of the gown. Okay, so I went ahead and marked 1 inch for seam allowance all through, 1 inch. So starting from the shoulder line as well, I also marked 19 inches for the pocket space. Okay, just the same way I did on the other side, and 7 inches for the pocket opening. So I'll keep marking from that point. I'm going to double stitch at this point, okay, during stitching. I also mark 1 inch all through, 1 inch all through, 1 inch all through. Okay, so coming here during stitching, I'm going to double stitch at that point. So right now for the slit, okay, it's going to have a slit on both sides. I came up 15 inches. You could make yours 16 inches, 17, even 14, depending on how long you want your slit to be. So I came up 15 inches also. Okay, so just the same length of the other side, 15 inches. So from this point, it's going to be open. Okay, while I will close the upper part. So from this point, I will notch it, close it from here to here, while the other side will be open for a slit. So here our pocket has been cut out. The length of the pocket, and it's on fold. Okay, so the length is 13 inches. You could make yours 12, 10, depending on the length of the fabric you have. So while the width, I went and slanted it in this shape, in a slanted form. I marked 8 inches at that point. Okay, it's not going to be straight but in a slanted form. So I'm going to cut it out like so. So also give it a shape at that end. You can leave yours in this square shape, or you can as well add coming down to this open end, create a shape. Depends on how you want it, okay? So it could be in a square or in this slanted or curvy shape. So I went ahead and curved it like so. So it's going to be this way. Then also notch the main point. So here we have our pocket into two. I'll close it like so using 1/2 inch, and also on the other side using 1/2 inch as well. So after closing, I will turn it to the right side. So right now I've gone ahead and closed the sides of the gown on both sides, and here I have the open end, okay, just this way. So what I will do next is to flip it to the right side. So right now it has been turned, and here we have the pocket space, okay, and this is the slitted or the open end. So I'll go ahead and place the pocket like so, taking note of the notched point. So I'll fix it on both sides, okay. So I'm going to stitch it on both sides, taking note of the notch point. So after that, what next I will do is to close in the slitted area. First of all, for beginners in the house, you can give it a iron it out to create that line, okay, and fold in using 1/2 inch, just the way you see me doing it, and stitch on it like so. I folded in 1/2 inch and flip it like so. You can iron it out to create that line, just the way I earlier explained. Then fold it in 1/2 inch and stitch, okay, and stitch all through to the end part. If you reach at this point, okay, fold in 1/2 inch as well, flip it to the other side, okay. You keep stitching to the other side and also close in using 1/2 inch to the end part of the slitted area. So I'll do this on this side and also on the other side of the gown, after which I will hem the lower hem using 1 inch, okay, 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch as well. So I'm going to do this and also fix our satin. So as I earlier explained, I'm going to fix this satin after I've done everything, but for beginners it's always good, once you finish fixing the neckline area, the band, fix the satin immediately before closing it up, before closing the both side, okay. So I'm going to close this in like so, fold it in 1/2 inch and stitch, also 1/2 inch on all sides of the satin, okay. So I will flip it all sides, fold in 1/2 inch and close it up, and show us the final look of our kaftan gown. So guys, it's been an amazing time with you. Thank you so much for watching to this end. I really appreciate you guys, okay. Yes, if you are yet to subscribe, okay, just hit on that subscribe button. It's free. Like the video, okay. Please comment. I will answer any question at any given time, okay. Please just place a comment, share the videos to your friends, your families and loved ones. So thank you guys, love you all, till we meet in my next tutorial. So it's bye for now. Bye bye.